Hi, everybody. Here we go to our part 5 in CSS. And now I will explain to you the units you can use in font size. So let me share my screen here to just show to you one detail. Generally, when you code font size in CSS, you can use absolute units, which are pixels, points, okay? Or other ones like centimeters, inches, okay? But it's not a good idea. And the reason for that is because the browser, okay, depending on the resolution of the device, okay, in a device with a higher resolution, those pixels, each pixel is gonna be very tiny. Sorry. Besides that, the users sometimes they can change the settings in their browsers to present larger fonts, probably because they might be seniors or they might have some type of vision disability, and we need to respect that. So when you decide to force an absolute unit to the content, like putting font size pixels or in points, okay, you might be forcing the user to read some content that might not be big enough to make it easier for the user to read. That's why it's important to use for font size, especially the relative units. There are EM, or REM, or percentage. What is the difference here? Well, EM is in regard to the default font. So generally the default font size of a browser, when you install the browser and you do nothing to change the font size, generally it's 16 pixels. That's the default font size. Which is related to around 12 points. So when you say in the browser, look, here in my HTML document, I'll be using the font size like we did of 2EM. What I'm saying is it is twice the default font size of the browser. Now, if there is a user that put a larger font, okay, as the default, like 24 pixels, then that 2EM will be basically converted to 48 pixels for that user. While in my browser that I did not change the default, it would be 32 pixels, twice the 16 pixels that is the default font. That's why I used in our example here, I used the font size in EM. Now, what is the difference of EM to REM? Well, REM is related to the default font, okay, but in regards to the root element. So, for example, if I put here in the body, okay, that the font size for the whole, okay, for the whole page is going to be 2EM. Look what's going to happen, okay, to all the others 2EM. Let's look first how they were. This year has 2EM. This year has 2EM as well. And down below here, I have in the footer 0.7 EM, right? So now if I save this and I refresh, my body is starting already with 2 EM. So look what's going to happen. everything gets bigger. Everything gets way bigger than it should be. This is not 0.7 EM, okay? Now, if I go here and I change the font size here of the fuchsia to be 2 REM, okay? And this guy here to be 0.7 REM, look what's going to happen. Now I have that this here is 2EM in regard to the default of the root, and the root is the browser. And again, I have my footer related to 70% of the default of the root, which is the browser. Okay, so the root is not the body. What ends up happening is if I put the body, if I put all the page to start with something based on EM, okay, then what is going to happen is as I put EM to the children, they are going to be bigger and they are going to be bigger, okay, and that's not what I want, okay? So when I want to refer to the root, then I put REM. So a lot of times you're going to see developers using REM to make sure that they have the true font size they want or they need for the elements, okay? So this is what I wanted to share with you in regards to font size. And please always prefer to use EM or REM or percentage for font size because it's more accessible. Thank you and have a nice day.